Oh, man. Yeah, it's time for that 9 a.m. class. Oh, you getting a stretch in? You getting a stretch in? You miss me? Yeah. Yeah, I missed you. Hey. Well, let's get inside. It's cold. It's cold. I always try to make sure I have a home for everything and my desk set up because it's easy to get disorganized and that's chaos. This goes here. What's up? I'm Tanner, and this is my first video. What I'm doing, what I have planned, is to document the rest of my time while in school. I am a design student, full-time design student, with the anticipation to graduate after this upcoming summer semester. Currently, I'm in spring semester, and this is the last day of the first week. It's been great. It's getting intense, as it should. I think it should. It's pretty serious. And this is something that I have always wanted to do. I've just never done it. It's been quite a few years of saying I'd like to do this, but the conditions aren't right, but another excuse, and just a lot of excuses. So I want to get used to making videos and editing, and I want to learn that. But ultimately it's just because I'm going to reflect on this time one day. I love being a student. I'm always going to be like a lifelong learner. So in some ways I'm always going to be a student, but I love being a college student just because it's so, like, what I'm in right now is so fun. Like I just enjoy it. I enjoy the instructors and hearing about their feedback, since I think all of them that I've had have been in industry and have actual experience doing the stuff that I'm trying to learn to do. So it's just valuable. It's fun, and I'm gonna miss it one day. Plus, if any of you are considering to be a design student, you can use these videos to kind of see my insight, see my actual experience of just some of the classes that I'm in, and just kind of get a better idea on what to expect, being a design student, learning to go into the design industry. I think this would be valuable to somebody. So I hope you find it valuable and insightful and entertaining. I'll do my best, but it'll be informative, and yeah, it'll be exactly what I'm doing. So that's the idea. Oh, get that zoom. Or is this called focus? I think it's called focus. Okay. So the time right now is 1:40. Been busy. Where do I start? Full-time student, but I'm also a full-time employee at just one of those jobs that relate nothing to your degree. You just do it to survive. But I also have a job that's related to my degree right now, a web developer, and that's awesome. I'm a relatively busy person. I'm a husband, so that's a full-time job. Even though my wife would say it's not, it is. For some of you, you'll know this is a responsibility. I am somebody who exercises, so I take 2 hours of my day, 2 to 3 hours, to work out every 4 days. And the reason I'm saying this is just because I'm documenting just my part in life. I'm documenting this part of my life. So what I wanted to talk about today, just from a design student's perspective, is the idea of people holding themselves back. And this can go out of being a design student. It doesn't need to just stay in the design world, but this is just my experience. So people holding themselves back, like why would people want to do that? Well, I think it's partially because they tell themselves that they're doing enough, and the key word there is enough. It's kind of toxic. Like you don't want to do any more, you don't want to just polish up your work, you don't want to really just include in all the small details, you just want to do enough, and I don't like that word. Like doing your best, I did my best compared to I did enough, it hits differently. Trying not to be too harsh about it. I'm just trying to make the point clear of there's people holding themselves back, and I can't really understand why they would want to do that. If you're holding yourself back, you're not learning and doing as much as you actually can. The more you do, I feel like the more you're going to learn, because there's more for people to critique potentially. And not putting your best foot forward, not doing your best, that makes a story just lack. That makes a weaker story compared to you did your best. There's all these details that might not look important, but when you give the story behind it, it just brings it all together, and those details are all of a sudden just standing out and being the main show. That's just the potential of doing your best and not really holding yourself back. I think his name's Seth Godin, but I was listening to a talk of his on a podcast, and he was reminiscing on this TED Talk that he gave, and he said that he wanted the audience to raise their hand as high as they possibly could. So that's what they all did. Everyone raised their hand as high as they possibly could, and he said raise it higher, and they all rose it higher. And he made a point of, hey, you're holding yourself back. And that's where I got this idea, like, wow, it's easy for me to want to hold myself back, and I really shouldn't do that. And it's important for me, it's important for you, it's important for everybody to recognize if we're holding ourselves back or not. Now there's a limit. We can all push our bodies to the absolute limit and then pay the consequences, and we probably shouldn't have to pay those consequences. We want to, if we're reaching that limit, just okay, bring it back. You don't want to pass out or anything. But it's also good to really just do your best. If that means just making a sacrifice on 1 or 2 hours of sleep every night or every other night, for me it was about every other. At the end of my first semester, I was probably getting 2 hours of sleep that last week, every other night, and then in the nights in between, I was getting a solid 4 hours, which were great because that's better than 2. 2 hours, it just hurt. It hurt so much to wake up. Like it was just pain all over my, like a literal physical just pain after waking up at 4 from 2 hours of sleep. But that was partially my fault. I was new to coding, and I made some mistakes, and I had to go back and read the day before. So, well, really the morning of my presentation, because it was past midnight. I realized that I've been working on the wrong file because I had 2 different versions of my final project, which was a website. Actually, the first problem that I had, which was at midnight, I had two different versions. I had like the new version, and then I had the old version, and I deleted what I thought was the old version, but it was actually the new version. And then I was working on it, and I realized, oh, it's going to the wrong folder because I didn't change to the correct folder that was managed to. That was 2 hours wasted, and then that's when I was like, okay, we're making sure these are going to the right place. That's the example of a sacrifice to be made, and it's not every day like in college. This is just a really big point I want to get across. Like there's going to come a time in your semesters throughout college where you're going to need to make some sacrifices to do your best. I did my best. I took the time to make prosthetic arms for that site. I forget how many images I made. 13. Just below 10 or just above 10. It was one of those. But it was a lot of work for me just because it was just from my own experience. I wasn't professionally taught or formally taught. But yeah, I took that time that I had to go through and rebuild the site 3 times the date was due. And woo! I was tired the next day, but I was so proud of myself because I blew it away. That's not me bragging, that's just me saying, like, I presented really well, and I had a good enough site. I had a site that was good with the skills that I already developed throughout the semester. So I hope that you realize, just if you haven't started college yet and you really want to go to college, like I just really wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to a higher education place. Just realize and accept that at some point, either throughout every single semester or a semester here or there, or maybe just one semester, you're gonna have to make sacrifices that might just involve you getting no sleep or 2 hours of sleep, or you might just have to like not hang out with your friends as much anymore, or at all. Me, I didn't really get to hang out with any of my friends because I live so far away from them. Keep telling yourself the truth, which is it's temporary. This is a temporary time. It's gonna end one day, and you're gonna get a job, and you're gonna be living a good life, and you're gonna be able to do other things that you wanna do just to have a good, fulfilling life. Just keep telling yourself it's temporary. Since you're here right now in school or about to start school or whatever, or if you're considering to go to school, accept and tell yourself, once I start school, I'm setting my butt in the chair and I'm gonna be really good. Just have that mindset. You don't need to be the best. You're probably not gonna be the best, but if you have that mindset, you're gonna be so much more better than you would be if you just told yourself, okay, I'm just gonna do enough just to get by. I'll accept a C this semester. I'll try again a bit more next semester, and hopefully I'll get a C plus or a B or whatever. I hope that this impacted you. I really do, because it was something that I already it was a mindset that I already had. It was a very intense mindset. Honestly, a word to describe my whole college experience so far is intensity. Just that big I word, intensity with a period at the end, because ever since the day one of this design degree, I mean, I've been intense. I'm like, okay, if I don't have time for it, gone. I'm gonna rip it off my page of to-do, or like things I can't do, throw it away, never gonna see it again. And that was my strategy for the success that I've had so far. I can go more into that in a later video. Again, just my experience, things that I did that worked for me. But that's one of the things that I did. If I just realize, hey, I'm not going to be able to hang out with my friends on a Saturday night like we all typically do, it's gone. It's gone for this semester. In between semesters, I can do that. But right now, I need to focus on this. I'm going to be the best. Anyway, I'm going to digress from that. It's, 1:54. I've been up since 4:30. Had a great workout. I really did. I do Olympic weightlifting. I'm not an Olympian by any means, but I just call it Olympic weightlifting because if I say I do weightlifting, people are like, oh, you lift dumbbells? I'm like, no, I lift a bar of, maybe either your max squat or whatever. I lift it above my head, and I do that. Just turn on the Olympics one day and watch weightlifting. That's what I like to do. That's so lame. Yeah, had a great workout this morning. I've eaten once today. Got out of a meeting for my web development job. Started working on my portfolio a bit. I need to take a shower. I really do. This poor chair. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. And I'm back at my desk. Ooh, chaos. Oh, this is a different Robin Williams. This is called the Non-Designer's Design Book. Looks like it's a book on design and typography principles. One of my instructors recommended we get this book. It wasn't necessary, but he really recommended it because he thinks the information here is pretty valuable. So this will be added onto the list of books that I read. That's something that I've been doing lately though, is reading more books that are related to the industry that I'd like to work in. I've read Creative Strategy and the Business of Design. I've read Chris Doe's Pocket Full of Dough book. It's spelled like D-O. It looks like pocket full of do, like he wanted us to do these things and have this mindset, but it's called Pocket Full of Dough because that's his last name. It's just spelled D-O. Currently reading Win Without Pitching Manifesto. I just started that because I just finished Chris Doe's book, and now I gotta read this book. And then there's a book that my other instructor wants us to get, and I forget the name of that. What's that? So the book is called Burn Your Portfolio, Stuff They Don't Teach You in Design School But Should. It's $30. He wants us to get it, and he's gonna want us to read it throughout the semester. I don't think it was necessary, but I'm gonna do it because it's different when you read something on the internet compared to when you read an actual book. It's not a connection that's made. I mean, I don't think it's a connection. You just only see their point of view, and I think that's valuable. You're gonna have a lot of similarity, but then you're gonna have a couple key differences probably. And then once you have all those, like let's say you do 3 to 5 books, pretty agreeable within most topics, but then there's like one topic where like most of them have like a different opinion and only some of them have like a similar opinion. You would then be able to develop your own opinion. Ooh. You know, I feel like as a college student, I gotta move this camera position. Right here, I'll show off the Boba Fett ship Slave One. I feel like as a college student, the stereotype is that college students just eat ramen noodles all the time. I won't eat like the very cheap, like, you know, when you think college students and ramen, I don't know the brand name, but we all know the brand name. I eat like spaghetti and meatballs a lot. Lots of pasta. I typically followed a just low carb diet as just like my lifestyle. But after I can't, it's hard to multitask. I started college and I was like, I need to eat whatever I can because I'm so hungry and I don't have the time to plan for my foods. And honestly, like, I just want some carbohydrates. I've just kind of been eating whatever. And it's not like junk food. Any snacks that I eat are like plant-based snacks. I just feel like those are healthier, and I hate the word snack. It's like people when they hate the word moist, I hate the word snack. Oh, let's get some work done.